Hi team, welcome to my session on Coffee with Prab, and today we're going to discuss about what is GRC, how to make a career in GRC and what certifications we have in GRC and why GRC is the next best thing in the information security or IT. Hello team, my name is Prab Nair and for more information you can refer my LinkedIn profile. So without wasting a time, let's start with the first part. Thank you. So we're talking about a lot of GRC. So what is GRC? Governance, risk, compliance. Some says governance, risk management, also compliance. Okay. So let's first understand the definitions. Okay. So what is governance? Governance is a set of operations by which we achieve the business objectives. In layman, I can say company build process. We build strategies. Okay. We build controls. Okay, by which we achieve the defined objectives. That is called governance. Okay, it is also called as a system. Like when we want to run the country, so we have a ministers, they introduce some strategies, they introduce law, they introduce structures by which they run organization, they run country, right? Same like in the organization, we build strategy, we build process, we build policies by which we run the organization. So that is basically called as a governance. Okay, so that is clear. So let's take one example from the IT and information security point of view. So suppose your company is planning for a cloud. They're planning to migrate all the service on a cloud. So we need a strategy. We need to do all the analysis before taking a call to migrate the service on a cloud. And later on, I want to run the cloud more effectively and make sure the cloud should able to create a value for my business. So we need to build process, strategies and everything. So we need a people who build these strategies. We need people who build the policy. We need people to ensure to the owners or senior management the things are working as per the business objective. So they hire people for that. Governance consultant we called, risk consultant we called, security consultant we called, IT consultant we called. Okay, so that is called as a governance. Second part is called as a risk management or risk. Risk, if you go by the definition, called as a probability of impact. Okay, risk is basically all about something might be occur. It's not there, but it might be. So company basically, whenever they go for any kind of a new project, new acquisitions, okay, initiatives and all that, they try to understand what is a risk, okay, associated with this. They try to identify the pattern, they try to predict, okay, to make sure they should able to prevent that. Live example, you preparing for any certification, you preparing for any exam. So you try to read everything. Then you assuming if I don't read this, then what is the impact? I repeat, if you don't read this, what is the impact? The impact is if anything is asked in the exam from this area, it will be a direct impact on my pocket because if I fail the exam, I might lose that dollars. I might lose that money. If I fail, I lost my $700, $600. So that is a probability. So company hire consultant to analyze the risk. Okay, company hire professionals to analyze the risk to make sure organization should not do anything which can backfire them. Okay, so that is called as a risk function, which is also called as a risk management, where we identify the risk, where we analyze the risk, and then we treat the risk by mitigation, acceptance, transfer, and avoidance. Okay. The third part is called as a compliance. So compliance is all about act of abiding. Example, I'm running a service, I'm running a company in Europe. So I need to be comply means act of abiding, okay, aligning. So I need to respect the law. I need to oblige the law, okay. So in the US we have, in Europe we have a GDPR. So if I'm running any kind of a service in EU, I need to be comply with GDPR. So we hire consultant, we hire professionals to make sure whatever we're running IT, we're running services, we're running anything to make sure it should be comply with GDPR. If you talk about India, okay, in India, if I need to be comply with RBI and all that, okay, so I hire people to make sure my people, my process, my technology will be comply with the RBI guidelines or IRD guidelines. So we hired a compliance specialist. So this is called as a GRC, governance, risk management, compliance. Now let me take one example, okay. As I said, I'm not a very expert, okay. So you are happy to raise your concerns also, but I'm just taking one example how the GRC combined as an activity works in the organization. First assumption which people has, GRC is the information security, cybersecurity, which is wrong. GRC has not at all about information security and all that. It is all about the overall organization. Okay, and it is not run by one department. We have a multiple department who involved in building the GRC in the organization. Now let me give an example of that. Okay, so suppose I'm working as a consultant in the company. Okay, so management has decided they will planning to have a new business in Europe. Okay, so their need is they want to evaluate the need of the EU customers. They want to understand the GDPR aspects. They want to understand the business, and they have given me direction. Prab, we want to start a business in Europe. So they have hired me as a consultant. Now here I'm getting paid for my thought process. That is the one thing you need to remember in GRC. You get paid for your thought process. You itself is a tool in the organization. Okay, normally what happens when you go in a security products and all that, your expertise is depending upon how you are good in product. Your salary, your package will be depending upon the product. Example, we hire na HP expert, Palo Alto experts and all that. So we say Palo Alto. So your identity is associated with the product. But when you're working as a consultant, GRC consultant, you're getting paid for your thought process. That is why it is a recession-free job. So normally what happens is they have hired me. So what I'm going to do, I will first analyze the business requirement. I will analyze the legal requirement. Okay, because they want to run a business and they want to ensure the IT should be support the business. They want to ensure information security support the business, because by end of the day, if they're able to provide the business in a very secure manner, okay, in more productive manner, then only they can able to generate a revenue, right? So they hire the consultant like me. So what I'm doing is I'm doing a security part of GRC. Okay, we have a IT people of GRC. We have an architect part of GRC. Hope you understood. So governance is all about set of operations. So here what I'm doing is I'm talking about the security part. So I'm trying to understand the business requirement. I understood about the legal regulatory requirement, GDPR and all that. And based on that, I come up with the building a strategy plan. Okay, so this is how we need to build the strategy. Okay, this is what with the policies. Okay, because policy is the way by which we can communicate to our team members. Hey guys, this is the policy. So by compliance with the policy, we comply with the GDPR, because I cannot educate my people on GDPR articles, right? So I understood the GDPR requirement and translate in the form of policies. Okay, build the policy based on that and enforce in my company who are basically supporting the EU customers. Example, like there is a policy that say that you're not supposed to download any EU data. So we have created a policy. Whoever basically is supporting the EU customers and all that, you're not supposed to download any data on the local system. And based on the policy, what we did, we disable the USB access. We ensure no one carry the smartphone in the organizations, pen drives in that particular floor. So this is how the policy was used to control the people, process and technology. And this is the example of a good governance. And by this way, what I tried to achieve is whatever the expectation management has from me, I'm meeting the requirement. This is the live example of a good governance. Okay, if company tomorrow going to drive the service in Europe and they are saying that they are GDPR compliance, that is a very good demonstration of a good governance, a system. Okay, so here one of my role is to build the strategy, build the policy and implement the policy and strategy in the organization. And based on the policy strategy, we basically bring the technologies, we do the acquisitions and all that. That is a one role. Now in GRC, we have another role called as a risk management. Okay. GRC, which is second part, risk management. So we hire consultants who evaluate the risk associated with the new thing which is coming from Europe. Example, we're planning to onboard one vendor for our data center. We are planning to onboard one vendor for the HR management. We need to ensure that, okay, HR management, that system they're offering, cloud they're offering, they should be compliant with my GDPR controls. What happens is tomorrow we onboard them and later on we got to know some issues. And GDPR authority or the legal authority has enforced a penalty on me. And I need to pay from my pocket. So that is a risk of paying money, risk of loss. So I want to prevent the loss. I want to reduce the loss. So company hire consultant to understand what is the risk we have. If you do this, what is the risk? If you do that, what is the risk? So second roles, we have a risk consultants, risk assessor. We also call it as a third party risk management. Okay, the first role was a consultant, core security consultant who involved in building policies, strategies and everything. Then we hire consultants who do the risk assessment for an organization to make sure organization should not take any activity, any initiative which can backfire them. Okay. So I am a risk consultant. I evaluated, okay, this is the vendor we need to onboard, or this is the vendor we have a control deficiencies, issues and everything. So you guys okay with that? Okay. I'm telling you, mentally prepare about this risk impact. So please be okay with that. Or we can have some kind of an action plan to reduce the impact. So we have this kind of a profile. Now we have another profile which is called as an audit. Audit basically ensure whatever we have implemented, it is compliance with the senior management expectation, compliance with the legal aspect, regulatory aspects. Okay, PCI DSS. So we have an auditor kind of a profile. So if you understand here, one profile is all about implementation. One is all about identifying, managing a risk, and one is all about checking whether they are both are doing a duty correctly or not. That is called as an audit. Okay, so this is how the entire GRC set up in the organization. Now from an information security point of view, what are the profiles we have? We have a risk consultant, we have a security consultant, we have an auditors, okay, we have a implementers, and major thing you can see this kind of profile in a big four. ENY, Deloitte, PwC, KPMG, then other consulting services also hiring this kind of a professional. So this is what is GRC. Now question is, the second part is how to make a career in GRC. Prab, I don't have a BTech background, it is okay. I don't have a BSc background, that is okay. I am only BA pass, that is okay. I spent my 20 years in the IT. I spent my 30 years in the application development. Can I move? Definitely okay. It is all about the mindset. So there is a two way to learn GRC. Okay, first of all, you need a clarity in which part of GRC you want to move. Are you want to move in the audit side, or you want to move in the consulting side where you will be involved in implementations and all that? So both have a different dimensions. So if you take an example of first part, which is called as a implementation, where you need to be involved in building strategies, policies to make sure we align with the business requirement and able to run business smoothly in the organization, is I will recommend you to start with the ISO 27001. Okay, ISO 27001. Okay, I'm not saying you should go for a certification that, but at least you can have an understanding about the standard, how the standard implement in the organization. Because based on the standard only, we build the strategies, process, procedures, controls, policies, and everything. So you have to start something from basic. But if you want to know basics of security first, so before ISO 27001, moving to any consulting part, you should start with Security Plus, CompTIA Security Plus. That give you a very good dimension about what is information security, cyber security. Okay, so all those things will be there. But if you're looking for a core IT governance, okay, IT governance, not security governance, then I will recommend you to start with the ITIL. Because ITIL is basically give you the idea about the service management framework. Okay, so that is the two things. So if you're looking for the core security part from the GRC point of view, because GRC is also different dimensions we have. Okay, governance has a different dimension. If I'm introducing a set of strategy, policy from a security point of view, that is called as a security governance, because I'm building a security system. If I'm talking about the IT strategy, IT functions and all that, is IT governance. Okay, to understand that, I will recommend you to start with the ITIL. So dimension is different. Okay, so that is a one thing. So I understood, like, we have a perspective about Security Plus, which give you the good idea about what is security, what is cyber security, what is information security. That dimensions, you get the idea. Now after that, what next? I would recommend you to start with the ISO 27001 lead implementer, not auditor, lead implementer, in which you're going to learn about how to implement 27001 standard in the organization. See, this standard is basically provide you the idea how to implement the information security on the organization, because standard is a method. Okay, standard is a method. Or the second option is try to learn NIST Cybersecurity Framework. Now, difference between standard and framework is a list of controls which is taken from a standard only. Framework is a logical structure which can be customized as per the business objectives. You can understand in this way, you want to build a house. So you construct the architecture of the house first. So that architecture is a framework. Then on top of it, you will decide what is the standard TV, audio, video you want. So standard is a method. So framework used to organize the controls. So you can check if anyone offering NIST Cybersecurity Framework training. So from there, you get the understanding about how the cybersecurity implement in the organization. My first suggestion is, whenever you're going for this training, first inquire the instructor. Check how the instructor is going to deliver the training. If it's just a PPT based training, then it has no value. That is why before attending any live trainings and all that, do your homework. Do thoroughly review the standard, how standard works, how NIST 837 works, 837, 27001, 27004, 31000, 27005. Okay. One is basically something 37,000 something is there. You can check that ISO governance framework is also there. then how COBIT works. So you need to review all those things, frameworks and standard. Make sure you should do your homework first before attending any training. So first training you're going to attend is Security Plus, and after that you're going to attend the ISO 27001 lead implementer. So after that, what is next? So if you're moving to the risk profile, then 31,000 you should attend. 31,000 which talk about the enterprise risk management, which give you idea about how to implement the risk management in the organization. Okay, and further to that, the next level is C-Risk from ISACA. And if you're looking from the audit side, then ISO 27001, instead of doing a direct lead implementer, do the lead auditor. Okay, which give you idea about how to audit based on a 27001 standard. And then further you can go with the ISO, from ISACA, CISA certification. Now, if you're looking from a consulting point of view, implementation point of view, then I will recommend you to go with that ISO 27001 lead implementer, and then go for the CISM, because CISM is basically give you the idea about the information security management system. Okay, and if you're looking for the core risk management profile and all that, then start with the Security Plus. Then you can basically go for the ISO 31000, and then you can basically go for C-Risk, CRIC from the ISACA. So this is how you can able to improve your career. Now, I would not recommend you on a initial phase itself you do any kind of a certifications. If you're getting a training or training content on these areas, you can start with that also. Going for this ISACA level certifications, my suggestion is that until unless you don't get a job on that field, don't go for the certification. I repeat again, until unless you don't get a job in the respective area after doing ISO or 31000 or frameworks and all that. Okay. So based on that, you must get a job because you get the understanding about this. Okay. So after getting a job, you're doing a mastery in that area, then do the ISACA certification because it is very expensive. See, I'm not demotivating you, but I'm telling you the fact. Okay. So let me summarize again. If you want to start with the information security management, information security governance involved in building strategy, policy, controls, then I will recommend you to first start with the Security Plus, then ISO 27001 lead implementer, okay, and then CISM. Okay. Second part, if you're looking for something like a risk management kind of a profile, risk functions, risk assessment, you want to implement the risk management framework in the organization, start with CompTIA Security Plus, then ISO 31000 enterprise risk management, and then ISACA CRISC. If you're looking for a career in an audit side where you want to audit all these things and providing an independent assurance to the board that things are working as per the requirement, because the company hire auditors also, then in that case start with the Security Plus, do the ISO 27001 lead auditor, and then you can go for the CISA. So that is how you can basically plan your certification. Now the third part, how to get a job. See, you need to work more on the communication skills and writing skills, because in this kind of a profile, the most important part is basically how you communicate. Okay, what is your writing skills is there. Okay, so when you learn all these things, learn how to build papers, how to build documents, how to build strategy. Okay, check the templates, create your own template, create your own policy. So that's something you can basically plan. Okay, 90% of the jobs you can see in the Big Four. So try to aim for those jobs, Big Four like EY, KPMG and all that, and don't keep your ego aside. That's the most important thing, because when you're working for the Big Four, if you have a regular degree, only you will get a job in Big Four, because I am also a victim of that. So otherwise, small companies also there, okay, where you will get a jobs. Okay, if you're getting a job in a small company, you will get a great learning, because there you want to take care of end-to-end governance. So try in a small company first, where you get expertise. Okay, you get deep penetrate into the projects and process. Okay, that's my suggestion. You get a lot of learning in the small companies or mid-level companies and all that, because when you're working in the Big Fours and all that, you are basically handling 10 to 15% of the project. But if you're working in the small companies and all that, there you might need to handle end-to-end projects because of the limited resource and everything. So my suggestion is that try for the small companies where you get more exposure, spend 2 to 3 years on that area, because in this kind of a profile, in this kind of a job, very important is your stability. Because when you move to the new positions, when you're applying for the new jobs on the management side, they see your stability. Now just imagine if I'm looking for any kind of a head kind of a profile, And I saw your CV in which I can see in every 1 year you're changing a job. For me, you are not a trustworthy candidate. So make sure when you are in this profile, at least 2 to 3 years you need to spend in one company where you can be a mastery of all the process, practice and procedures. My suggestion is that. Second is make a blogs, make a videos, okay, about how to build the strategy, how to build the policy, how to build the procedures. So Monday to Friday you studied, Saturday, Sunday take out 4 hours from your schedule, build some templates, share those templates, build your blogs, okay. By this way you can be exposed to some of the professionals on the LinkedIn who are looking for the people, okay. If you don't have a budget to go for all these trainings, then pick consultant on this area, okay. Pay them that same money, example, pay them 10,000, 15,000, block their dates in the weekends and learn from them how the risk assessment work, how the consulting works. Because CV can be filtered based on a certification, but by end of the day, you are the one who going to face the interview. So there is a possibility that your CV, your profile has been selected, but on the first stage when the interview asks, you have a zero knowledge about the question. So my suggestion is that there's another way you can basically make a mastery or make an understanding about this area is pay some money to the consultants, understand from their perspective how practically things works. Do not pay to the trainers, okay, pay to the consultant, check their profile, what kind of a profile they have. They are from a big four, okay, they are into the risk profile, they are into the compliance profile, they are into the consulting profile. So that kind of things you can look for. Third is that give more jobs interview. Okay, after every interview, read the questions, pen down the questions, what questions has been asked, what is the answer you give, search in a Google, what are the possible experts talking about the responses, okay. From that way you can able to improve your learning, okay. Collect the feedback of your interviews, okay. Do let us know, like, how was my interview, let me know what is the area of improvements, okay. Give a token of appreciation, reply back on an email, thank you for considering me for this profile, because it gives the positive impact, okay. And then most important thing is your resume, your CV, how you build the CV. Involve the professional experts, pay them extra, because that is the first document we have by which we get the idea about you. So make a good CV. In the CV mention about your projects. If you are newbie, you have zero experience, then it is okay. Just explain about your projects that you did as independent projects, okay. Make a profile on a freelancer websites and all that. Take small projects from there. If you're able to deliver them, ask them about the testimonials. So this is how, as a fresher, you can basically gain the experience, okay. So this is the techniques that you can basically use to apply for the GRC jobs, okay. So my suggestion is that don't obsess about the certifications, okay. Just be obsessed about the knowledge, obsess about the training, obsess about the content, okay. Find a mentor who can basically guide you, find a mentor who can basically support you, find a mentor who can basically involved with your problems and all that. And I'm not talking me as a mentor, okay. Like you are basically want in audit, okay. So in audit there is a one videos which is uploaded by Mr. Hemang Doshi in Udemy. You can check that is a very good video. There is a NIST Cybersecurity Framework video was uploaded by one of the US instructor in Udemy. I will just check the URL. If I have, I will share it in the description box. Okay, there's a new thing is coming in the governance which is called as a privacy. So privacy is a new segment we have, and if you want to move in the privacy side, we have a multiple certification where you can start with the CIPM. Okay, then if you want, CIPM is basically from IAPP. Then we have a second one which is called as a law perspective, then CIPPE, okay, which is basically law centric, which is Europe and US. And if you're involved in understanding a strategy from the privacy from a technical point of view, how to embed the privacy in the technologies, okay, then we have a CIPT. Okay, so we InfoSector, Tesaro, all are basically are the major vendors who are basically experts in this trainings. Okay, so you can check that. I heard a very good review about Tesaro. Okay, so they are the privacy leaders. We recently also tie with IPP and we also offer the privacy trainings. Okay, we have covered some videos on YouTube on InfoSector. If you go to InfoSector video website or InfoSector YouTube channel, you can check the privacy management system video. We have a 2 to 3 hours of video where we have discussed about how the privacy management system works in the organization. So that is a new thing which is booming. Then now the new thing coming is cloud security strategy, cloud security governance. The way we're carrying a governance in the on-prem, the same governance we have in the cloud strategy also. So, future, After 20 or 30 years, if you are in operation, this is the future. This is what you need to do after 10 or 20 years, because that is one of the best jobs. Okay, because when you are into the pen testing and all that, you need to be continuously on toe, always learning. But when you move into the documentation, standards, process, procedures, governance and all that, you need to improve your skills on the thought process, because you get paid for your thought process. Okay, so do let me know how do you find this video. Okay, and in the comment box, and if you're new to the channel, do subscribe to my YouTube channel and click on the bell icon to make sure you should not miss my future videos on a similar topic. Thank you so much. Goodbye.